The following was recorded in front of a live studio audience at the Studio 21 Podcast Cafe. This is the United Podcast Network.
Welcome to the Quirky Dog Podcast, inspired by some of the quirkiest dogs you can ever imagine and the owners who love them. This podcast is brought to you by the quirky couple themselves, Scott and Jess Williams. Their aim is to educate and entertain. Here's Scott and Jess.
Welcome, guys, and happy Wednesday. We are coming to you live from Salem, New Hampshire, and we have some very special guests today. I'm so excited to have them on. But first, we are going to start with the quirky tip of the day. And the quirky tip of the day just came to us this week. This is so exciting. This is a hot product right off the market. It is called the Paw Wave. We are going to talk about it mostly the whole episode, and it is the ultimate Christmas gift you guys can buy your dogs. And best of all, it ships FedEx. So if you order today or maybe even buy this weekend, your dog can actually get it in time for Christmas. So
is that a surfing product? Or what?
We're going to learn all about it. Don't you worry.
It sounds like I feel like I'm in an infomercial or something.
Today we have Sherman and Debra Canapp. They are, most importantly, sports medicine doctors for dogs, but they are wine connoisseurs. They have a winery. They're sports car drivers. They're the power couple of the century, and they're a really awesome couple. I actually was there a few years back. I got stem cell on one of my dogs there, and the facility is amazing. I mean, you walk in, you could lick off the floor. People obviously aren't walking in anymore with COVID and everything going on. They're doing things a little bit differently. But guys, welcome, and we are so excited to learn about the Paw Wave today.
Thanks for coming.
Thank you.
Our pleasure for being here. Yeah, thanks for inviting us.
All right, so tell us a little bit about what you guys do down there. You're in Maryland, correct?
We're in this wacky location. It's called Annapolis Junction. The reason we built our hospital there is we're close to the airport. We're about 10 miles from BWI, so about 90% of our patients come from around the country or other countries. So we needed to be a place that was fairly easy as far as accessibility for clients to come in.
Yeah, that's crazy. So I assume with COVID, people obviously aren't traveling in, but you guys are just as busy because you're the Canapps and VOSM, right?
It's busier than it's ever been in the history of veterinary medicine. I think what's happened is people are home with their dogs now, and they're looking at them saying, how long has the dog been limping? And the kids are like, Mom, Dad, it's been limping for 3 years. It's just now you're coming home. And, people are adopting dogs. I think New York City ran out of dogs in the shelter.
Yeah, which was a good thing. Yeah.
And then what are we doing? We're outside, we're hiking, we're kayaking, we're mountain biking, we're bringing our dogs with us. Maybe they weren't ready to go with us all of a sudden because they weren't used to being outside, and they're becoming broken. So our industry has just exploded. And then with our telemedicine platform, because many people can't travel, that has just also taken off tremendously. So yes, our industry right now, not just with us, just as a whole nationwide is just exploding.
It's crazy.
Nice to hear good news. About at least being busy,
Yeah, it is. And,
I want to segue just slightly professionally because I loved your Facebook post a few weeks ago, Sherman, about talking about quarantine and stay at home, and just your input on all of that was so great. Like talking about how to make like a positive thing out of all of this, and you just had such nice insight. So just tell us just real briefly a little bit about your personal lives because you guys are a fascinating family. I just met your eldest daughter. And then just a little bit about kind of where you stood with quarantine, because it was just such a nice thing to read. It was heartwarming.
We were so worried about just our patients. We were also worried about our staff. We were worried about our family. And what I've learned is with proper education and social distancing and being just careful and cautious, you can still have a very normal life and still practice and still do good things for the veterinary community and still be safe for your staff as well. So what we learned is that, I hate to say the silver lining, but all of a sudden we're home with the kids. We're traveling. Last year before COVID, we were traveling 75% of the year, lecturing, teaching, training our other VOSMs in Finland, Australia, throughout the country. And so we were always traveling. And all of a sudden we're home and the kids are home. We started having dinner together. We've never used our dining room table ever in the history of living in our home. We started going through these questions that we found cards for. It would be like, what would you have liked to have done in high school? Who was your favorite class in third grade? So it was all these incredible things. Our son started cooking. Our son turns 18 today. Today is his 18th
Happy birthday to him.
Caden. So we're taking a break we're honored to be involved. But all of a sudden we're hanging out together as a family. We're doing board games. He's cooking. And we start realizing we have a whole home with children, with pets that we haven't really been able to appreciate over the years. And that was just absolutely so incredible. So it's a blessing that, all of a sudden, I hate to say, COVID's been so horrible for so many around the world, but at least for us personally, has brought us closer together as far as a unity within the family. And we're outside people to begin with. We mountain bike, we hike, we take the dogs out, we kayak, we race cars. So for us, we're looking at each other like it's pretty easy to social distance when you're going down a road at 150 miles an hour. There's nothing better than that as far as social distancing or mountain biking. So we were really blessed with already having the ability to do a lot of things out in nature. And it really just opened, the environment to others that I think are usually trapped inside.
Yeah, I just love that perspective.
We should have quarantined at their house.
We had a good experience too, but our lives didn't change much. We do puzzles and we hang out with our dogs a lot, so it wasn't a big difference. Thank gosh all your travel happened last year. How great that was for you guys. So tell us a little bit about your services specifically. I know that Deb is big on doing the ultrasounds, and you both work with all the animals you see. And I just have to say, as a side note, guys, if your dog is injured, I would for sure check out VOSM, and to make the trip, fly there, especially if you're in the States and you can get there right now. I saw about 20 people, and professional people, highly respected people, wondering what was going on with my Border Collie a few years back. And literally within 15 seconds, Dr. Canapp was able to diagnose it and say, oh, you got micro tears, both iliopsoas, let's get this handled. So they are incredible. But tell us a little bit about your services and kind of why most people come to see you.
Yeah. Deb always talk. That's fine. Deb will speak, I promise. She knows how. So it's all based off of human sports medicine and equine sports medicine. That's where it all began. And we just, back in the early 2000s, Deb actually created VOSM in 2005 and started with rehab, because rehab's so critical. And what we realize is that, a lot of the injuries we see in not only sporting dogs, fly ball, dock diving, agility, field trial, hunt test.
Even pet dogs.
We see in pet dogs as well. Yeah. In fact, pet dogs create their own agility fields in the backyard, chasing the squirrel, chasing the ball, on and off the couches. Yep. So the reality is the same injuries we see in our sporting dogs, we see in companions. But the challenge is a lot of these, people term them soft tissue injuries. Well, I hate that term. As a veterinarian, we hear soft tissue. What does that mean? Put them on a leash, put them in a cage, and give them some non-steroidals. How about a diagnosis? Yeah. How about a diagnosis? Imagine that. And so let's find out what's wrong. Okay, so we typically, I hate to say, unless it's a sporting dog and they come directly to us, can be the third, fourth, or fifth opinion for dogs around the country or around the world. And the idea is a diagnosis. Okay, not every dog needs surgery. And even though I'm a surgeon, boarded ACVS, I'm also boarded in sports medicine and rehab. And I prefer to take the more holistic, conservative approach. And then we always have surgery as a fallback if we need it. But most of these don't need surgery. They need a diagnosis, maybe some biologics, like your dog has stem cell therapy, and then back to a physical therapy, regime. And I think that's the big thing that we add, asking about our services, is trying to identify those challenging conditions that either a house pet, companion, or a sporting dog has. Let's get a diagnosis and get a plan and have a team approach between maybe the veterinarians or the therapists they came from in another state and the owner, the handler, the trainer, and get them back to either sport or get them back to playing agility in their backyard, chasing squirrels.
Yeah.
So I think that's the big thing.
Well, and these injuries could be career-ending sometimes for dogs. If it goes undiagnosed, all of a sudden they can't keep bars up anymore. They're sore after a trial. People ethically don't feel like they're doing the right thing anymore by playing this sport that they love. So the fact that there's a place to go and an answer is really hopeful for a lot of these competitors and everything else. So that's excellent. All right, let's talk about the Paw Wave. What do you want to know about it? Scott wants me to buy one to use on him. I'm going to have to deal with this now.
Well, I was excited about it. When Jess told me about it, I didn't even know what the heck she was talking about. She said Paw Wave, and I didn't, she said it was a massaging device. So I looked it up on YouTube, and I saw some reviews comparing it to another, not the Paw Wave, I'm sorry, the Pulse Wave, the original one, because there's nothing on the Paw Wave out there yet. This is really like the first day I think people are going to hear about this product. But with the Pure Wave, they were comparing it to the other, and at that price point for that product, it was a great product. But they were comparing it to the one that's like a $300 or $400 massager that has like the hammer that just keeps pounding you, which is much better for a human athlete to get deep tissue. Everyone prefers the pounding, but that's way too much for a dog, So this one lends itself to the animal much more than the other product, and a better price point.
Yeah, and it was just introduced this week. You guys put it out on Facebook. Scott's not on Facebook, so he thinks the big reveal is today.
I got an addictive personality, so I got to stay off social media.
But the shares, it was crazy. It was just like an instant success. Everyone was so excited about it, me included. So tell us a little bit about it and the journey. And I think there's 2 different types. Just let us know what it's like.
You can post
Oh,
it.
Lord.
Okay. I'm Vanna, right?
So Deb is going to explain about the product and how to use it on your dog and the benefits in a second. I'll just explain the evolution. So this company, they're phenomenal. What happened was, and this all happened recently, within the last few months, a company reached out to us. They have the #1 human massage device out there in the world for humans.
Mm-hmm.
And they reached out to our research development company called Orthobiologic Innovations. That's our R&D company. And what we do with them is we take products from veterinary medicine to human or human medicine to veterinary. So that can be things like your dog had stem cell therapy. It can be devices like we do for ACL repair. It can be needle scopes. It can be plates and screws. You name it, we've helped develop it, human to vet or vice versa. So this company reached out to us and they said, we have a massage device on the human side. We would like to launch one on the veterinary side. We don't understand the industry. We need to test it in dogs and cats and horses to see, are they going to accept it? Will it work? Will the same human data apply to the veterinary data? And so they shipped us the device. We're like, happy to talk to you. Incredible company, young progressive guys that just think outside the box, incredible engineers. And we were amazed at the device. In fact, Deb has a hairless cat. And I'm like, there is no way this cat is going to tolerate
deal
this
with
device.
It. Yeah.
Lay there on its Buddha belly and just let us, massage its Buddha belly. And so I was absolutely amazed that the engineering of this product is 5-star, the quality and the price point. When they said what they wanted to launch it for, I figured it was going to be hundreds and hundreds of dollars. And they told us the price point. We're like, are you sure?
It's incredible. I know. It's incredible.
We'll talk about that as well. But they wanted to make sure it was available for all owners, all cat owners, all dog owners, all horse owners. And so they didn't want it to be price limiting. So technology-wise, that's how it came. So it comes through our research development company. Once we've looked at it, analyzed it, tested it, then CSM, our Canapp Sports Medicine, that is our teaching, training, virtual medicine that allows products to get out there for us to help owners understand it, veterinarians understand it, and really to help kind of broadcast, the word about products that we believe in or are using for ourselves or our patients. So that's kind of how it evolved. Deb, tell us more about the product.
You want to know about the?
Yeah, Vanna, do your thing.
Ready? You already stepped in.
How long ago did this all start?
Oh, wow.
Like 4 or 5 months ago?
4 or 5 months
Oh,
ago.
that's pretty quick turnaround.
Very quick.
That's
quick.
pretty quick. Wow, another 2020. It's crazy.
They're a wonderful group, but they had no idea about pets or dogs, cat, right? They're just like, can we put it on their head? I'm like, no, don't do that.
They might not like that much.
So we're trying to advise them through all of this, and but it's great. There's 2 different products. There's the Buzz, which is a vibration wand, which is what we're actually doing our clinical study on, because there's some really great papers out there on vibration therapy and reactivating shut down muscles after surgery, also helping to decrease pain and discomfort. So we're doing our clinical study on that. And then there's also the Perk, which has a whole bunch of different heads.
Cool.
You can kind of customize it to, depending on what you're trying to do for your dog. If you're just trying to give them kind of like just a good old overall feeling, or if you're really trying to therapeutically kind of decrease tension in their paraspinal muscles or things like that. So there's 3 different heads for this one.
And are there different levels, or is it just like an on-off? Okay.
Yeah, no, so there is 5 different levels, and it kind of goes by the little light here.
And this would you like to demo?
See, this is what's going to happen. This is what's going to happen at our house. So don't joke. I'm going to have to use it on him. Change the head so you can put it on my skin. Oh my gosh. Yeah. And then how do you guys recommend introducing it? Like on a low level?
It was very interesting. So we got the products in. We knew nothing about it. And I have my Doberman, who basically will do whatever I tell her to do, right? She's very just hard. And so I got out the wand and I made her stand and I turned it on. She's like, okay, whatever. And I put it on her and she was just stood there, right? And then I turned it off and the dog took off. She's like, and then I got it back on again. She's like, hell no.
Yeah.
So come in my daughter's dog, Armani, who's a Great Dane, and he's scared of his own shadow. If a chair falls, he will never go in that room again, ever, because, something bad's going to happen. And this dog loves this device from day one.
Is he the 3-legged one?
Yes, he is.
Okay.
He is. And he loves it. He just sits there and he paws for more. But the way to introduce it is basically, just starting, petting your dog, kind of, adjusting your pressure, and then bringing it in, not turned on, so off. Let them smell it, sniff it, just understand that it's okay. Quiet environment, no distractions, just spend some time with your dog. and then just start kind of brushing them with it, just applying it to them without any, without it turned on. And then once they do that, you start at the lowest setting.
Nice.
And then reduce it. Usually we say try to like kind of do the paraspinals, back legs, triceps, the big muscles. Avoid those bony prominences because they can feel kind of funky.
Yeah.
And kind of just watch your dog and see what they think.
So how do you use the two different devices differently? What would be, so tell me like when I would pick up the Buzz, when I would pick up the Perk, why I might need both, that kind of thing.
Right. So the Buzz, again, I really like the data in the humans, and we're trying to replicate that in the dog about decreasing pain and discomfort. Okay. It's also kind of a generalized, there's, really no place that you can't use the Buzz, except on, sensitive areas or the face or the nose or something. Yeah. But so I want to, I like this post-operatively to decrease pain, and then to try to reactivate muscles that have shut down. Okay. The Perk are more specific, like this attachment here is great because it really gets into the paraspinals. So it's kind of like this kneading motion. And then you have this one here, which is just little bristlies. And this is kind of like almost like effleurage, where you kind of really relax them and give them a kind of a nice feeling massage to kind of decrease tension.
Sounded like a spa when she said effleurage.
And then this is like the one we were talking about, the Pure Wave, where it's kind of a little bit more of a percussion. Okay. And this is more focal for like trigger points and tension points that we find secondary to, say, work or training or things like that, or injury. So
I have a few questions when you're ready.
All right, you go for it.
The question just came up. One, is it waterproof? I hope water resistant at least, but maybe it is, maybe it's not. I love the fact that it's got a rechargeable battery in the handle, so you don't have a dog chewing on a cord. If you you turn your back and they chew a cord or something like that, you don't want to have that stuff happening. The third thing I had was...
Let her do your first question.
The third question I had, just because I'll forget the questions, because that's just the way my brain works. We had a few weeks back a lady that represented an insurance company for canine health insurance. Embrace. And she said whatever the doctor prescribed, they would pay for. Excellent. Would they pay, do you think, for, or have you considered that? Because this would be a great add-on for these dogs going home with a recovery protocol, that you're just including that, and insurance would pick it up, hopefully, or a portion of it.
I'll start with the last question. The nice thing about animal insurance companies is that they pay for the condition, right? Yeah. So if your dog has arthritis, they say they'll give you $3,000, as you submit invoices. Well, it doesn't matter
how you spend it, right? Gotcha. Gotcha.
Great. So if you write a prescription for this, I see them paying for it. I don't know exactly, but
or a portion of, that's great.
So that's really,
all right, so let's talk about the charging. We'll go back to front, so we all...
Charging is great. It has lasted forever. My daughter charged it once, and it was like a week and a half or something.
She wasn't really using it. That's why she said, "Oh yeah, I'm right every day."
This is the most, all of the cat, the dog, all the dogs just line up for her. But the charge lasts a long time. I don't know precisely how long, but very long.
That's nice.
And then it's water resistant, so you don't want to
put it in the bathtub.
Right.
But it's definitely...
Well, you could put a scrubbing device on there, I was thinking.
Well, honestly, I want to get to the price point, because this is, to me, the most exciting point about all of this. And even saying, can insurance cover it? It's affordable enough that even for this Christmas in 2020, if you've been struggling, you can buy it for your dog and not feel like you're breaking the bank. So how much is the Buzz and how much is the Perk?
Which is really right. It's $79.99. Look, and I'm just pulled that out of my tush.
Good job, Vanna.
I'm like, and I think it's $99.
It's not. They're both under 100. It's amazing. Yeah. And they ship FedEx once again, because I don't know if you guys have been experiencing this. You guys have busy lives, but Christmas is tough this year. No one's getting together. Everyone's shipping. And honestly, if I send all my stuff out, but if I had to still send stuff out, I'd say you'll get it in 2021. Every time I go to the post office, it's an hour wait. I'm like, I can't.
If insurance pays for it, they're like $1,200 a piece.
Yeah, it just depends. No, but that's the best part of it, is that you honestly could even have both at your disposal, and you could use them, and your dogs could get the great effects.
Perfect, stopping.
It is. And we were talking on the way here, it's just about a quality bag of kibble. It's just about as much of a price point as that. And you're going to go through a bag of Acana a lot quicker than you're going to go through this thing. So I just want to clarify for my own purposes.
Hang on, with regard to the price analogy there, I have clients all the time tell me they've spent $200-300 on crate pads They put the pad in the crate, the dog chews it up, they go buy another one. They're like $300 in before it occurs to them, maybe I shouldn't put another one in there, you know?
And we're big on stuff for our own dogs like chiro and massage. And obviously you still want to see an in-person, massage therapist or whatever if you have an active dog, but this is great in between work. You know what I mean? It really helps.
Jess wants to know if you can monogram them, because she's going to get one for each dog.
do you do them in glitter? That's the new thing in the dog world. No, but what I really want to know is you talk about the buzz like kind of a post-operative type of thing. So is the buzz okay if you don't like sea muscle soreness, if you just kind of want to make your dog feel good?
Yes, absolutely. Okay. That's the primary unit that Ali uses also. And it just, again, it's kind of a overall feel good type of massage. So, and you can use it with the vibration on and still do like the effleurage and kind of just relax them and move through the muscles. So most of the data is on the vibration.
Okay.
I feel like the different heads of the perk you can use more as a manual therapy, right? So that you're specifically doing a certain thing to a different muscle. But the buzz has the most data behind it about making things feel good.
Okay, cool.
You both brought up a great point about it's not replacing a therapist. So there was a great Facebook post this past week. I know you just saw this because we just launched it on Facebook talking about it. One of our clients who's out in Michigan, she posted that she's already ordered it. She already received it. She got 2, one for each dog. And so she wrote to her therapist that's also on Facebook with us. And she said, don't worry, this is not replacing you. I'm using this on the days that I'm not seeing you. Yeah. So this is another thing. So it's not just for after a person or a patient rather has had an injury. It's also for prevention. This is something where it brings in blood supply. It helps, warm up the tissue. So if you're going to go for a long hike with your dog, this could be part of that warm up process. Go for your hike, you come back and use this part of the cooling down, kind of stretching out process as well. So it's not just for post-injury, it's also for something that we use, just as a preventative, body maintenance, body awareness.
And you're not going to bring your massage therapist to the trial. You could bring this to the trial very easily.
Yeah. Exactly. And
with Jess, when she shows up, she's got the back on track vest on before she gets there. And as that slowly is peeled away,
part of the whole team
then the vibrating starts and the massaging. Yes.
I'm excited about it because we were talking, there really isn't an item like this on the market, honestly. And it is something that it's just so easy to overlook with dogs. And Scott and I specifically are really big on just like taking a moment at the end of the day, sitting quietly with your dog, not being on your phone, like just kind of having this mindful moment. And this is a great way to do that. You know what I mean? If you have this in your hand, maybe you turn off the TV, light some incense, and you guys just kind of have a decompression moment. I mean, my God, it's 2020. We could all use as many of those as we possibly can get, right?
Well, when they get done with this tool, they're going to need to get the dog onto some anti-anxiety medication. Because they'll be spending so much time together.
It'll be so soothing. No, I think it's great. And it's great for competitors and for pet dog owners and for whomever is looking for it. Is it the same device then for cats and horses and dogs?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Is there anything else we haven't touched on about it that we should share with listeners and viewers to pump them up even more? I'm sure everybody's already ordered, but still, just in case.
I think, cats just go, a little more slowly. Ask them a few more times.
Treat them like a cat, not like a dog.
Exactly. And I'm still to try it on my horse. So we just got her a few weeks ago. So I'm kind of slowly introducing things to her.
Well, the Doberman made you a little gun shy too at first. So now you want to make sure maybe you should have Allie come over for the horse. What were you going to say?
I do have a question before you guys split. For the companion animal, I know in a rehab situation, you're going to be giving some kind of instruction with this as it goes home with your patient. But for the companion animal that may want to buy this for the holidays and use it the way we're talking about, do you think it would be overreaching to consider using the acupressure point the chart for dogs in the application? Or because people are going to say, well, they might be afraid, I don't want to hurt my dog with it. What do I do? Like you said, stay off the spine. Right. So would there be some instructions with this that would say, hey, stay off the joint, do it here rather than there, that type of thing?
So, the number one thing is kind of, start on the lowest setting and watch your dog, listen to them. If they don't like it, even though I say that that's what's supposed to happen, then you just don't do that, or slowly introduce it more slowly. We're working right now. We have an introductory video on the website. So that kind of shows, the do's and don'ts. Again, avoiding bony prominence is, do it on yourself. It doesn't feel good. And then we are going to have more specific videos of, do you think your dog has, tension in its spine? This is how you're going to apply it. Or, does your dog, slowly get up? This is how you would apply it.
Great.
So those are fun.
Yeah, sounds good. Sounds good.
This is all happening so fast.
I know.
Allie and Deb were creating videos last week, and it just launched this week. Yeah. So we're amazing, just amazed at how quickly this has just kind of gone by.
And is there some sort of customer support or something if people are having trouble?
Yes, there is.
You know what I love about this is that I really do see the value in this, and we use these type of products all the time. But one thing we've been really big on for several years is the
CC loop.
No, the treadmills.
Oh yeah,
treadmills are a lot of money. We tell people, you should invest in a treadmill. Well, it's $1,000 commitment for people, and for most people, that's a big chunk of money. This is a really low entry point where your dog can get huge value from it, which is really nice,
Buy it. Everybody buy it. Buy it now. Sherman and Deb have a very busy day and a very busy life. Next week, we are doing our episode for Oprah's Favorite Things. So be sure not to miss out. It's for all of our current Patreon supporters. You can click the support link. And if you are a Patreon supporter, even if you just joined this week, and if you are by next week, you're included. We have our Biothane Leash that we introduced previously, our Canine Calm Roll-On, our Travel Calm Spray, and then we have a few different sizes of the Quirky Dog t-shirts. And I'm ordering a Buzz, and we're putting it in Oprah's Favorite Things.
We're going to have a Buzz over here on the side.
I'm ordering a perk for me, for our dog, but I'm ordering a Buzz, and it's going to be all within. So it's going to be a part of our Patreon and Oprah's Favorite Things episode, and I'm so excited. You guys, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Honestly, you're incredible veterinarians and incredible people, but you really do a lot for the world. I love seeing you guys biking and sports car driving and drinking wine, and you have a great marriage and a great family, and thank you for everything you do.
We're going to do a wine episode. We're going to have you come back. It's good to meet you in person, at least to see your face.
Yes,
nice to see you guys.
Have a happy holiday, and thanks so much. Everybody go get your Paw Waves. Woo!
Thanks, guys. Have a good holiday.
Quirky. You got to honk.
The views and opinions expressed by the hosts, guests, or callers of this program do not necessarily reflect the opinions of the Studio 21 Podcast Cafe, the United Podcast Network, its partners, or affiliates.